The first attempt to get the Extreme 200 race underway would result in this incident. Elliot Pinson looking down the inside of Richard Holmes-Williams on pole, goes down. It looks like Elliot Dufton into him, and the bikes decided themselves, all on their own, they're going to make a young mini bike between them, because those bikes look like they were mating. I'm pretty sure they were. Let's have a look at the replay. Through the left-hander, that turns into the right-hander. Pinson down the inside of Richard Holmes-Williams. He leans in. Elliot Pinson goes down hard, and here comes Elliot Dufton, nowhere to go. Just to the left of the picture, looks like Will Howarth down as well. Chloe Jones, I think, picked her way through it. Did well to miss that. The red flag would come out, of course. Those bikes need to get a room. The race would be restarted. Is Kiko Giles and Dan Marr.
The Extreme 200s are about to restart their race after a very brief red flag. All riders have been moved and seem to be okay, so now we will get underway in just a moment's time. Many of the riders still trying to restart their bikes after having sat on the grid for a few moments. Richard Holmes-Williams starting on the first row of the grid, second place, and is still struggling to get it restarted, so may well have to sit out this race restart. We're being told they're not going to be given another warm-up lap. They'll just be going straight from the grid, which won't do much good for their temperatures. Otherwise, it seemed to be a struggle. Richard Holmes-Williams furiously pushing down the right foot to try and get the bike restarted, and is not having much luck in doing so at the moment. So it could just be just one rider on the first row and one rider on the second row of the grid. So looking a bit bare towards the front. Looking further back, everyone seems to be in their normal grid slots. Richard Holmes-Williams is not going to be taking the start of this race. So Charlie Nesbitt, by comparison, will be leading by turn one, you would expect. And as the red lights are on now, they're underway. A good start again by Charlie Nesbitt leading. Into second place goes Bradley Ray through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Richard Holmes-Williams does get underway, but at the very back of the field. How long will it be? We've got 12 laps for Richard Holmes-Williams to make progress, as with everyone else. But so far, Charlie Nesbitt leads from Bradley Ray. Not a sentence you hear very often. Josh Watley in third place, Gareth Roberts in fourth. And we've got a fall, and it's Richard Holmes-Williams has actually lost it coming out of turn 3 and 4 in his anger. Just spun the rear wheels a bit too much, does carry on and into this race, but everyone else through cleanly.
He was riding like a maniac to come through, so Richard Holmes-Williams, he risked tripping up over slower riders, so unfortunately that seems to have happened. Out front though, Charlie Nesbitt. Spud Nesbitt is leading Bradley Ray at the moment. They come across the line. This is going to be a proper race now. This will be very, very fast indeed. The two leading riders in this race are massive exports. The British Motor Racing now, and both of those will be going head to head. Charlie Nesbitt leads Brad Ray at the moment. They are at turn 4, flicking through to turn 5, a fast right-hander accelerating through it. Hard braking into turn 6, another right-hander. Hard on the power. Bradley Ray's bike moving about everywhere. Charlie Nesbitt using all the track, flicking left. Short burst on the power, down a straight into turn 8. This is another left-hander. Bradley Ray loses the front, just about holds on to it. So everyone pushing very hard at the front. Third place is at the moment Josh Watley ahead of Gareth Roberts. Gareth Roberts, your championship leader, can wrap it up this weekend if all results go his way. And a fifth place is Tom Whedon, and Jack Scott from the Motorstar Championship is in 6th.
And well, there was a big moment for Tom Whedon coming out of turn number 10. Very big oversteer moment, just put on a bit too much power too quickly, almost lost it, did though keep it in check, and very well indeed. But it's 0.8 of a second the gap between your race leaders, Charlie Nesbitt and Brad Ray. Josh Watley is 2.2 seconds behind them, and has also got Gareth Roberts, a very fired up Gareth Roberts, who with no Elliot Dufton taking the start in this second restart, means that he's going to get a load more championship points to try and consolidate the lead. Tom Whedon, Jack Scott 5th and 6th, Brandon Payne in 7th. Elsewhere you've got the likes of Chloe Jones, Patrick O'Connor and Will Howarth, your top 10. Will Howarth getting a decent start as well. Richard Holmes-Williams did get underway, does continue. He's closing up to the tail of the field, but has cost himself a whole load of time with that mistake on the first lap. But 3 laps in, 50.2 compared to a 50.5 for Charlie Nesbitt and Brad Ray means it's a second for your race lead. I'm sure Bradley's not pushing himself too hard at the moment, but Josh Watley still got Gareth Roberts to contend with, sliding the bike a lot further over the curbing the number 70 rider is. Gareth Roberts not pushing too hard to keep the position at this moment.
Gareth Roberts at the moment is in 4th place. Got Josh Watley just ahead of him, not too far ahead of him, within passing distance if he can get it all done. At the moment it's all a bit line astern. Richard Holmes-Williams making moves downfield, gets past one and gets past the second only just, so that's downfield. Not sure who he was passing, but he's coming through the field again like a hot knife through butter. His next target will be Jamie King. Bradley Ray 1.2 seconds off Charlie Nesbitt. Nesbitt, the fastest lap of the race last time around. He's getting quicker and quicker. Both him and Brad are your leaders. 1.2 seconds between them. They are coming round to complete their 5th lap.
And as we continue, now 4 laps completed, 8 left to go. Got a third of this race already completed. The race indeed does continue. Gareth Roberts just dropping back slowly. Now 0.3 of a second behind over the line the last time. Should be more as they continue into this race. Brandon Perrill and
we have a red flag. We have a red flag, Dan.
Okay,
don't know who or why that is, but we have a stoppage.
But as red flags called once again, second stoppage of the Extreme 200. That is for an incident down at the final corners.
The rider that had gone down would recover after a short period of time. Now at the restart, you may remember, the man who should have started P2 was Richard Holmes-Williams. He could not get his bike going after the initial red flag and ended up starting from the pit lane. He then was recovering through the field, crashed during that race. He was out of the race. He's now back on P2. You don't need me to tell you what's going to happen, do you?
Craig Walker, Callum Wybrow, Elliot Lodge in Jackson, Liam Fairbrother, Joe Duggan and Sean Whittaker. We had 30 very strong entries over the course of the weekend, but now we've got a change. Well, it seems to be Spud Nesbitt, Charlie Nesbitt, is returning back to the paddock. So after lining up on pole position, then heads back to the paddock. Could it be he's not got enough fuel in the bike? May well be the problem, but as they make their way through, it could just be he wants to start at the very back of the grid. Although he's peeling back into the paddock then. Richard Holmes-Williams got the front row to himself. Brad Ray in 2nd place despite starting in 4th place at the moment. It's a bit empty on this grid at the moment. So far so good. 1-2-6. Richard Holmes-Williams leads out of Bradley Ray. Gareth Roberts into 3rd place at the moment, then 4th place is still being contested. There's a few riders having a look as they go through turns 1 and 2 for the first time out of 10 in this restarted race. They all do make it through cleanly, at least turns 1 and 2. A short sprint through the very tight complex at turn 6 is a different matter though. We've got one rider pulling off 2 riders left hand side. They do rejoin, so just got a bit wide, couldn't quite rejoin. But nonetheless, so far, it's Richard Holmes-Williams now ahead of Brad Ray. Gareth Roberts in 3rd. Josh Watley being there and thereabouts in 4th place for the time being as well.
Richard Holmes-Williams leading then. We saw that he had magnificent pace in the first couple of parts of this race. Let's see what he can do this time around. Brad Ray in 2nd place from 4th on the grid, so good start from Brad. But out front, Richard Holmes-Williams. Brad's right on his case though. This is not done just yet. I know his dad's watching back home. Kevin is tuned into the feed. So Brad Ray in 2nd place, looking for a win here back in Cool FAB for this Wilton Mill round in 2018, round 7. And at the moment, Brad Ray's giving Richard Holmes-Williams a run for his money. Those two are a little bit clear. Gareth Roberts, who is in 3rd place. Josh Watley is 4th, 5th and 6th. Chloe Jones, and then it's Tom Wingdon. So new riders all the way through the leading groups as Josh Watley goes on the inside at turn 9, the tight left-hander to go through on Gareth Roberts. Roberts looks to fight back and get cut back through turns 10 and 11 across the line. It is Richard Holmes-Williams ahead of Bradley Ray, and Josh Watley held on to that third place ahead of Gareth Roberts. Chloe Jones is 5th.
So a great move there, just got a great run coming out of turns 7 and 8. The two left-handers really used a better traction to good advantage, but Brad Ray with the fastest lap, 50.710, marginally quicker than Richard Holmes-Williams' 50.737. So it's Holmes-Williams and Ray first and second, third and fourth still is Josh Watley and Gareth Roberts, so Josh Watley having made the move. Good start also by Harvey Claridge, started a little further down the order, now into 12th at the moment. Great to see Harvey back after injury a couple of weekends ago. Richard Holmes-Williams, his life isn't being made easy by Brad Ray in the same way that Charlie Nesbitt could just pull away. Brad just patiently waiting. It's a long old game.
I think we have Harvey Claridge is pulling out of this race. Harvey Claridge has come to a stop. I think he's pulling over, so Harvey Claridge, after his hard work, I believe that's who it is who's just pulled off. We wait and see. Yellow flags are out and waving for him. Harvey Claridge is dropping down the order. Harvey Claridge is out of it. So just as we say how well he's doing, commentators curse yet again here. We are not having a good day. Dan Marr, all emails to him. Thank you. I had enough of this abuse. Rich Holmes-Williams leading Brad Ray, and that is your battle out on circuit. Harvey Claridge watches on from the sidelines. Good job it's free, otherwise he'd have to buy a ticket for it, wouldn't he? It's first place, Rich Holmes-Williams. Down the straight, Brad Ray in second place. At the moment, those two are your leaders.
Also a fantastic battle going on at the moment between the number 15 of Chloe Jones in 5th at the moment. Bright fluorescent bike, but then relatively dark leathers compared to the really bright fluorescent leathers but quite dark bike of Tom Whedon, the number 177, through turns 3 and 4. Really tight complexes. They have to really push the bike from left to right again. Such a hard way to move the bikes around. They do make it through, and they're still side by side trying to give it an attack into turns 7 and 8. Just holding on. They don't need to attack too hard. They've got 6 laps left to go. They've completed 4, on to lap 5 at the moment. Also a great scrap going on between Brandon Payne, Brandon Peril and Will Howard. 7th, 8th and 9th. 8th for the Yellow Peril, under attack from Will Howard though. Really been invigorated by some great pace in qualifying earlier on this morning.
Bradley Ray's alongside Rich Holmes-Williams. Bradley Ray to the front. So the kid from Lead then decides he wants to have a little go at the front. He was in early, out a bit wide. Rich Holmes-Williams knows he's got to fight straight back if he's to stay in touch with Brad, and doesn't do so. So Bradley Ray then at the front of a Cool FAB race meeting. Not the first time we've said it, and I'm sure it won't be the last either across this week. Bradley Ray loses the front and down he goes. I can't believe it. Bradley Ray, I'm meant to be his friend. I cannot believe I've just shot him out of this race. Oh my goodness me. Bradley Ray, Kevin, I know you tuned in. Please accept my apologies. I do not care if I take you off if you take me off your Christmas list. My goodness me. Richard Holmes-Williams will be giving me a handshake later on. Richard Holmes-Williams is back in the lead. Bradley Ray's front end was under him for a week. It was at turn 8, sorry. Unbelievable scenes. Bradley Ray, fastest lap of the race in this race, but certainly I cannot believe what I've just said, or seen for that matter. Bradley Ray's front end.
Well, I think you need to go and have a lie down for a minute, Kiko Giles, but nonetheless, a great... It does continue though, the thing to mention, he has continued into the race, so he is still in 4th place, he's still got the fastest lap, so could well yet change. We've got 4 laps left to go, and the gap, which was 7.8 seconds since it recorded over the line, is now Richard Holmes-Williams in the lead, ahead of Josh Watley in 2nd, Gareth Roberts in 3rd place on aboard the 2-on-2, going to take a whole host of points away from Elliot Dufton and co in the battle for the championship. But Brad Ray still in 4th, closing in the gap, 52.0 that last lap, so lapping a little slower. Again, Gareth Roberts could be down to the damage he sustained when the front went from under him, but so far Richard Holmes-Williams has just got enough breathing space.
We know Bradley Ray doesn't really want to come in the commentary box anyway. I think we've just definitely confirmed that theory right there.
Me and you.
I have just confirmed that theory there for him. No visit that I'm expecting from him now, unless it's a smack in the face, I'm fairly sure. Richard Holmes-Williams, though, is your race leader. We cannot take Edison away from him. Richard Holmes-Williams is leading. Josh Watley is in second place. Gareth Roberts is in third place. Bradley Ray is in fourth place. 4 now. Chloe Jones fifth. Tom Whedon sixth. Brandon Payne, Brandon Perrell, Will Howarth, Josh Ingram. That is your top 10. Richard Holmes-Williams out front by a mile now. Over 3.5 seconds is his gap to Josh Watley.
A decent run so far for Richard Holmes-Williams. A lap and a half left to go over the line. It's also been extremely close between Brandon Payne and Brandon Perrell, 7th and 8th. They've been fighting all over the course of the race, but Will Howarth really being stopped now by the yellow Perrell, the 146. One of the most consistent entrants in the Cool FAB Championships. Up the inside goes Will Howarth, has a cheeky look but can't quite make it work. So as they make their way through 7 and 8, they are still fighting tooth and nail, but we are about to see and about to have the last lap flag has been waved for Richard Holmes-Williams. One tour, 1.20 kilometres of this circuit to go. And Richard Holmes-Williams on the 126 machine is working his way through some of the other riders in this race. Doing it masterfully though, and really has got the measure of it.
Bradley Ray in fourth place. 50.9 was the quickest rider out on circuit last time around. It is purely academic at the moment. Richard Holmes-Williams is going to take this win in this championship. Second will be Josh Watley. Third is going to be Gareth Roberts, and then Brad Ray will come home in fourth. Richard Holmes-Williams comes through the last few corners now. 1 to go. Keep it neat, keep it tidy, don't do anything too silly. Through he comes. Richard Holmes-Williams, a dramatic Extreme 200 race finally concludes. Richard Holmes-Williams takes the win. Josh Watley second, Gareth Roberts third. Bradley Ray should be fourth. Yes, he is. Apologies there. Chloe Jones is in fifth place. What a result that is for Chloe Jones on her debut in this paddock. Sixth place, Tom Whedon. Seventh, Brandon Payne, Brandon Perrell. Eighth, ninth place. Hang on, our time is... Will Howarth is eighth place. Brandon Perrell gets 9th, and 10th is Josh Ingram.